Hi, my name is Ryan DeLuz, and I want to show you a little about Alive and heart rate smoothness, or a measure of stress and performance. So here in Alive, we measure heart rate. So there are attached finger sensors, 3 finger sensors that can be placed on one hand, and 2 of the sensors measure skin conductance and the other sensor measures heart rate. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play, and we'll see some sample data coming from the sensors. So this here is my heart beating, and the number here shows you my heart rate for each beat. And you can see that it's constantly changing. So our heart rate isn't constant. Even at rest, when we're sitting, it's constantly changing. So those changes basically have to do with stress, breathing, physical activity, and so on. There's a number of different inputs that change your heart rate at any given moment. But when we're at rest, and if we're not stressed, then the primary factor in if our heart rate is rising or falling is actually our breathing. So I'm going to go ahead and just start breathing in a regular manner for a second, and you'll see my heart rate start to move with this breath pacer down here. So as this blue line rises up, I'm going to breathe in, and as it moves down, I'll breathe out. And we can see also that my heart rate became very smooth here compared to the more sporadic movements happening. And that's what is shown with this smoothness slider. So the slider goes to smooth when my heart rate has a nice smooth repeating pattern somewhere in a reasonable breathing speed, and it goes to uneven if the pattern becomes irregular or if there are little jumps. So for instance, if I'm exhaling, which would normally cause my heart rate to lower, and that happens because as you exhale, your parasympathetic kind of relaxing nervous system is activated, lowering your heart rate. So as I exhale, if something exciting happens, I get scared or nervous or excited, my heart rate may rise while I'm exhaling, and that can cause some of these jaggedness in the line, as well as if you're not breathing smoothly or steadily, also the influence of your breathing on your heart rate will be fluctuating rapidly, as when I'm talking. And the way in Alive, basically, this is trained is in a series of increasingly challenging displays. We start with displays that are naturally relaxing. Here in this one, as I breathe in and my heart rate rises a little, these particles will shoot up, and as I breathe out they move down, and when my heart rate becomes smooth, the whole thing becomes big and beautiful, as when it becomes uneven it kind of shrinks to a dot. So I'll just breathe for a second. So we start with very relaxing environments such as this that actually help you to get in that state, and then as you increase in skill level, we have the option of more and more difficult games and displays. For instance, this is Dual Drive, our 3D race car game, where you have to relax and get into a positive emotional state in order to power your car, but at the same time you deal with the stresses of controlling your car, avoiding objects, staying on track. There are 3 other race cars that you're competing against, so you're trying to get to first place, win the race, and to do all that while keeping a relaxed and positive state. And so this is a good training that applies to sort of a real life scenario where there are stressors and yet you still want to keep your cool. So if my heart rate is not smooth, if it's uneven, then my car will not be able to drive. This fog will come in and obscure my vision. In addition, the other cars will of course get further and further ahead of me. So here's the fog coming in, the other cars are going. Now I'll just do some gentle breathing. See my heart rate becoming more smooth. In addition, we now have a multiplayer aspect, so people can be playing online against each other, competing in that way. There's many other parts of Alive. There's a coach that takes you step by step through learning about heart rate variability and stress and its impact on your life, and there's various workshops that teach you relaxation techniques and some cognitive behavioral therapy. Okay. Thanks very much, and hope you learned something interesting about